Let's get ready to rumble!
And I'd just like to say also hello to Ahna Bishop Jara, who found us on. I'm going to say this again when we start recording, but she found us on YouTube, and has now actually started following us on Facebook. And she remember the episode where we were talking, where Shaun, you were saying, "Oh, next week I'm going to do a show where there's going to be like 6 people, there's 6 main characters, all that kind of stuff." Yeah. And this is what she wrote. She wrote, "I knew the movie right away, but the title song, New York, New York." but I had to look up the actual title on the town. Am I right? And she says, "Anyway, I'm enjoying your podcasts very much. Thank you so much."
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
And she also went onto our Facebook page. I went to her Facebook page and she saw when you did the thing with the Sting. Yeah, we did the show with the Sting.
With the Sting on, yeah.
Yeah, and she was like, "Oh, this one's easy. It's Robert Shaw, it's Robert Redford, and this is the Sting." And she's like, "Oh man, I wish I could play this live." She was like, do you guys ever go live with your podcasts?" And I was like, "Well, we haven't done that for a while. I mean, I guess we did when we were on the radio. When we were on the radio, we were going live.
Went live, yeah.
And I guess we could actually do this live so that this is actually showing onto so this actually shows up on Facebook as we're recording it. Yeah, we could do that. But as Ahna, as you would find out as we're going forward, we're kind of cheap around here, and that might cost some money. But we'll look at it. We might actually do this so that we'll go live on the Netflix with a Cinema Podcast Facebook page. That might be cool. Have people actually try and play along in real time. Shaun, what do you reckon?
Yeah, we could give it a go, couldn't we? We could see what happens. I could actually probably do a movie quiz, couldn't we?
Well, yeah, you could totally we could totally do a movie quiz and have people play along at the same time. Which will, okay, you see, Ahna, this is what you've done. You have opened up a can of worms. You've opened up a can of worms, and you need to help us clean this can of worms up. Anyway, thank you very much, Ahna Bishop Jara, for getting in touch with us. But welcome to Netflix versus Cinema. Welcome to Netflix Cinema, the podcast that is as shocked as you are to have read in the news this week that the Oscars are happening this weekend. Yes, on Sunday is when the Oscars are. Did you guys know about that before? Okay, the first question. Did you guys know about that before I even said that right now?
No.
Did I? I think I might have heard something, but no, I didn't know. But I mean, I know they were talking about it because they said was it the BAFTAs they've just had, or
the BAFTAs? They had the BAFTAs.
Yeah, and there was mention they're going to do they're going to allow so many people, aren't they?
Well,
aren't they having a venue in London or something for the British nominees, and then a venue in America, and they want people to actually go to the venue rather than doing it all on Zoom?
Yeah, there's a ban. From what I understand, there's a ban on
travel.
There's a ban on people attending by Zoom. So like the nominees can't attend. So if you've been nominated, you have to be at some place in person, and they're going to have. And it's being directed by Steven Soderbergh, and they're going to have different. I don't know exactly where the places are because, as I told you, I got caught up by. I was like, "Oh, Oscars are happening this week." Oh, okay. Well, okay, fine. And so, I think we have kind of got a show. Oh, by the way, I didn't introduce myself. My name is Tosin. I am the host of the podcast. And joining me as ever on the Isle of Wight are Sharon Bollen.
Hello.
And Shaun Harris.
Hello.
That is Shaun Harris, not Shaun Harris of the Mission Impossible movies, but another Shaun Harris.
Yeah, that's it. Normally, a different Shaun Harris. The first names are spelled differently, although I do rate the other Shaun Harris as quite a good actor because he was in, he always seems to have played pretty nasty characters.
He does.
I think he was in the remake of Brighton Rock, and I saw him in Harry Brown, and he was like the drug dealer, and he's like, I just remember that was the first time I became aware of him was in Harry Brown.
Yeah, he does silent menace very, very well. He has a bit of an unsettling presence.
Yeah,
he has a look.
He was also in, I think, might be Prometheus, maybe, or one of those ones.
He was in Prometheus, yeah. He was in Prometheus, but he wasn't. So Karen.
So I do keep my eye on him. Yeah, my namesake.
All right, cool, good stuff. Right, so this week we have somehow managed and ended up, even though we were caught up by the fact that Oscars were happening, we've managed to see some of the films that are up for Oscars this week. I think because I was having a look, I was like, okay, what films are actually nominated? And I was trying to find out whether there is. I was trying to find out whether there is a whether there's any way of finding out where you can watch all these films. Like, have these films made their way? Have they sort of like, snuck their way onto different streaming platforms all over the place? And now let's see. I found a website called Radio X, and Radio X has actually given you the films that are up for Best Pictures this week. Let's just see whether you guys were aware of these. Have you heard of The Father?
No.
Anthony Hopkins, but I haven't seen it. And Olivia Colman,
Yeah.
but I don't know much more about it than that.
Yeah, the first I heard was because I heard about this and they were talking about the nominees and they said Olivia Colman is up for Best Actress and I was like, what? What for? Yeah. I was like, The Favorite? No, that's already no. What's she up for Best? She can't be up for The Crown. I had no idea she'd done anything else since then, film wise. But apparently, yeah, Anthony Hopkins, Olivia Colman, it is up for Oscars for Best Picture, for Best Actor, Best Actress. Never heard of it. Judah and the Black Messiah is up for best. Daniel
Kaluuya. Yeah,
Daniel Kaluuya, Lakeith Stanfield, and The Father is not actually available. You can't watch it anywhere in the UK. Judah and the Black Messiah, you can, but you have to pay for it to rent. And as we said, Anna, this show is dedicated to you. And as we said earlier, we're cheap around here. And if you have to pay extra after you've already paid for the streaming platform, we're usually not okay with that on this podcast. So we haven't seen it. Mank, that's on Netflix. That's Gary Oldman. Gary Oldman playing the screenwriter of Citizen Kane. Minari, which is Stephen Yeun. That's been getting a lot of stuff.
Oh, yeah, Stephen Yeun. That's good. Well, obviously, we know him as Glenn from The Walking Dead, those who watch The Walking Dead.
Yep, that wouldn't be me. So Stephen Yeun, I mean, he pops up in things every now and then. That is one of those ones, again, it's available to rent in the UK, where means you have to pay extra money. We're not doing that. Nomadland is coming to Disney Plus the week after the Oscars.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Frances McDermott. I've heard of some of the actors in these things.
Yeah, yes. You've heard stuff like, filtering down, but you don't. Yeah. But it's kind of like I haven't particularly paid any attention.
Do you think, Toes, that maybe they're doing this, and so there might be some cinema releases of them?
I'm actually hoping. I'm hoping because I think you said before we started that we're about 3 weeks out from cinemas opening, and I'm hoping that some of these we get to see in the cinema.
Yeah, I'm wondering if that's why they're doing it. So they say, Oscar-nominated film, or Oscar winner film.
Yeah, I think that
5 Oscars must see.
I think there's definitely some of them that are trying that, and depending on which one wins, they are definitely going to do that. I think that's going to happen. You're going to see some of these films show up in cinemas. I mean, in normal, in inverted commas times, that usually happens anyway. Like sometimes a film gets re-released after you've gone to the Oscars. Let's say it was released at the beginning of the year or something. So Nomadland coming to Disney Plus. Promising Young Woman, that is currently on. It's on Sky Cinema. Sound of Metal, that's on Amazon Prime. Trial of the Chicago 7, that is on Netflix. So we have about, I think, 6 out of the 7 readily available to watch. But I think we have seen two of that list, which we shall get onto. So I think, Shaun, you have requested this week because we usually give 7 minutes for a review. 7 minutes for a review of a film, and you think, that's way too long. It carries on a bit much.
I think what it is sometimes. I mean, I know the film, and I just want to say my feelings about it rather than just say the story of the film. And I tend that and just say moments of the film, what you like, because I think sometimes if you hear the story, and you think you can take bits from a movie, but just to say the story all the time, I just find sometimes a bit. So.
Okay. Well,
we'll
give you 30 seconds to tell people who haven't seen the film what the film's about.
Okay, that sounds cool. That sounds fair. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, cool. So you have seen. So I think we'll start off with one of your. What should we say? We'll give you 2 minutes. 2 minutes to talk about. So you said you have Come As You Are.
Yep, Come As You Are.
Yeah, Come As You Are, and you saw Promising Young Woman, which I also saw.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. So we can have a little discussion about that. That'll be good.
Yeah, we can have a discussion about that. And then Sharon, you have seen Love and Monsters.
Yeah.
I also saw, which I'd never seen, which I should have done, There Will Be Blood, which was the first time I watched that because that was on Sky as well. So,
I thought I have never seen that, but I thought There Will Be Blood would be right up your alley.
yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah, we'll come to that.
Okay, all right, cool. So, Shaun, what we're going to do is we're going to give you your 2 minutes to begin with to talk about Come As You Are and There Will Be Blood. Then we will go to Sharon, and Sharon will talk about Love and Monsters, which has also been nominated for an Oscar for Best Special Effects.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, Love and Monsters has been nominated for Best Special Effects, and then we shall finish off with Promising Young Woman, which both Shaun and I will do. So I will take the 7 minutes, and Shaun, you can pop in then every now and then.
I'll pop in, yeah.
All right, cool. So Shaun, what do you want to kick off with? Come As You Are.
Yeah, let's kick off with Come As You Are then.
All right, cool. So Come As You Are. You have 2 minutes. Give us 30 seconds. Tell us what this film's about.
Okay, this film is basically about 3 disabled chaps that they want to. That they're adults. They're sort of disabled adults. They've got various disabilities, and they decide they want to go. They found this place in Canada, which actually, where they can, get a lady. They can have sex because they both want sex. And so so they go off with their nurse, obviously. And along the way, you've got the parents are like, "Oh, where have they gone? Where have they gone? What's going on?" And so it's just basically a buddy movie with a difference, because as I say, one of them's partially sighted. He's got the other one's, and 2 of them are in the wheelchairs. So, and the nurse, she sort of, to start off with, she doesn't know what's going on, but when she says, she goes, "Oh yeah, I'll take you up there." So, and in the meantime, you've got the police looking for them, you've got the parents looking for them, trying to catch them, and they go into motels and it's just a really, 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 I don't know, it's a good film. I really, really thought this was quite funny. It had some really, really funny moments, and the acting was really, really good. I recognised the actress who played the nurse that took it. I'm not sure what the actress was. Film, she might have been in that film Precious, maybe. I'm not sure.
Oh, Gabourey Sidibe.
Yeah, if it was her, that's who I think it was. I mean,
okay, yeah.
So yeah, she's the nurse, and they've got like a car with all the disabled stuff on. And it's really, really interesting. Of course, they've been mollycoddled, or by overbearing parents that are trying to compensate for their disability.
Yeah, just trying to look at
And then the end of the film, it's basically they say, look, we are people. We don't want to be we don't want to be this way. We don't want to be mollycoddled and worried about. We want to do our own things. And yeah, so I'll give this one a 3-star. A 3-star. It's a good 3-star. It's a good watch.
All right, cool. So, well done, Shaun. Well done, Shaun. Right on time. Now, okay, if I may, I have a couple of questions.
Sure.
So, when you were describing that film, it sounded a little bit similar to the Peanut Butter Falcon.
Yeah, I guess it was in the same vein. as the Peanut Butter Falcon. But yeah, it was. I think it was. There was probably quite a few more comedic moments. It was more of a. As I say, it had its serious moments, but there were quite a few comedic moments, especially when they're in a bar and someone like, oh, and they sort of end up defending themselves. And so, yeah, but yeah, no, it's worth a watch. This one's worth a watch. Pretty good movie.
Oh, cool. 2019. It might have been swallowed up by by 2020 coming.
Was I right with the actress? Or
you are right. It is Gabourey Sidibe.
Ah, that's what I thought. Oh, that's it.
It is. It's good to see her because she sort of shows up on articles like the kind of thing of 10 actors who were nominated for an Oscar and then you never heard from them again, that kind of thing. And she sometimes she shows up on that, so I'm actually really happy when she shows up in different things, even if it was that Grimsby movie.
Yeah,
I'm happy.
Yeah. Oh, do you know I've not seen that Grimsby yet? Is it grim?
Well, the thing is, I haven't. It's like when you see a trailer for a film, and obviously, especially if it's a comedy, they're supposed to put things in the trailer that are supposed to make you go, "Ooh, that I really want to see that," and maybe put your best jokes in. And I saw the trailer for Grimsby, and I was like, I'm not sure that's funny. I think that's just off color. I think, that's borderline offensive. Oh, so I never actually bothered watching Grimsby, and so all I have to go on is what other people say, and most of the people I know who've seen it say that. Yeah, essentially
Yeah, that's what I figured.
All right, okay, cool. So that was Come As You Are. You said how many stars for that?
3-star. 3 stars. Yeah.
3-star. All right, cool. Well, sounds really good. And now we get on to your second film, There Will Be Blood.
There Will Be Blood. Yeah, There Will Be Blood. Now, this film, I should have seen this before, but it was the first chance I got to actually see this film. And obviously, it's about an oil tycoon. Starts off where he's looking for this oil, and his partner gets killed. So the partner's got this young son, baby, which Daniel Day-Lewis's character decides he's going to bring up, and so you see him. He sort of he makes himself a bit more money, becomes a bit more of an oil tycoon, and then he buys up some land. He's pretty. I suppose I could have spoken a little bit more about this one, but anyway, yeah. So he buys up a lot of land which has got a lot of oil on, and it's all about the drilling and everything like that. And then they hit it, and it's a blowout, and it's a big geyser, and his son just happens to be on the, watching, and he becomes deaf. So all through the film, and he's not a very nice character. He's a pretty horrible character, Daniel Day-Lewis.
Daniel Plainview.
Daniel Plainview, yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
But this was an exciting film. I could probably talk about this one a little bit more, but anyway, we'll get to it because it's not what a lot of people see.
You see that thing? I was thinking that when you requested 2 minutes, I was like, for There Will Be Blood. I was like, no. Yeah. I was like, come on, Shaun. Shaun, it's you. There Will Be Blood is right up your alley. You're going to want to sing about this film. So I will give you another 2 minutes. I'll give you an extra 2 minutes to keep talking about There Will Be Blood.
Thanks, Toes. You're a star. So there's a gusher, and his son becomes deaf, and he tries to compensate for his son, and he can't sends his son away so that he can learn, sign language and things.
Yeah.
But he's pretty nasty anyway. His son grows up eventually, and his son says, "Look, I want to go out on my own," and that, and he says, "Oh, well, you're my enemy then." He goes, "But you're my dad," and he just turns really, really nasty. And I think this is an absolutely brilliant performance by Daniel Day-Lewis. Love this performance.
Yep.
Yeah, and it made me so interested that after I'd seen the movie, I had to look at I started putting in about oil, early oil when
oil prospectors in there.
Yeah, and it was like spot on, and it said that there were so many riggers, so many people that worked on in the early days of oil, that many of them became deaf because when these things used to blow out.
Yeah,
like they would blow up. The noise was so great that anyone that was within the vicinity would just totally lose their hearing. And another thing was, so I looked it up and I thought, well, if they're gushing like that, how the hell do they cap them like that?
Yeah.
And I looked up, and they have these things called torpedoes, which are like giant bombs, which you used to put down there, and it would snuff out the flames because, of course, if it catches fire, it's a major fire. And so all this is in it, and it's a brilliant piece of cinema, I think. Absolutely fantastic piece of cinema. So this was. I'm so glad I watched it. I've been waiting a while.
Yeah.
Generally with Daniel Day-Lewis, the films are a bit long, aren't they? But,
yes.
But they're still good.
It's kind of, well, I guess the directors are like, if you've got Daniel Day-Lewis, you want to get as much of him on screen as possible.
Yeah. Really, really top film. This one, I enjoyed this one immensely. It's got to be a 4-star, an easy 4-star for me. This one, Sharon. This strikes me as a film you may have seen.
No, I haven't actually. It's one I missed at the cinema.
Yeah.
And I always think that Daniel Day-Lewis films do lend themselves to watching it on a bigger screen.
Yeah.
In the cinema. So like things like Lincoln, and where he does his real sort of scene stealing stuff. It sort of demands that sort of venue. So I never saw it at the cinema, so I haven't actually caught it.
Well, I think the films that I see that make me actually look on the internet, and then after this, finding out all about the oil and the blowout, I decided, top 10 Daniel Day-Lewis performances, and I did, and I looked, and I mean, my favourite film that he's in is The Last of the Mohicans, but some of the performances, Lincoln, great perform. I mean, I like Lincoln. A lot of people were going, "Oh, it's dull and boring," but I really, really like Lincoln.
No, I thought it was a good film.
Yeah.
I quite like him in Room with a View.
Room with a View is a good film too.
I'm thinking that he probably just about has 10 performances.
Yeah, he's not got that many, I
He
guess.
isn't prolific, is he? He doesn't
No.
do
Yeah, because
3 films a year.
Yeah, he took so long. He would take so long to prepare for a role that he would give his everything, then win the Oscar. Because that was, I think, There Will Be Blood. There Will Be Blood was his second Oscar, I think, and his first one was My Left Foot. If I'm thinking about it, I can just about think of 10 Daniel Day-Lewis filmic performances.
I was trying to think of the name of his last performance. You know, the one where he was the
Phantom Thread.
Phantom Thread. Yeah, I watched that.
So let's see. Phantom Thread, There Will Be Blood, Lincoln, Room with a View, Last of the Mohicans, My Left Foot, Age of Innocence.
Yeah, what else have we got? We got
Gangs of New York.
Was he in? He wasn't in My Beautiful Lawn Threat, was he?
Was he in An Unbearable Lightness of Being?
That I don't know. That one, that's a title I know, a film I've never seen. He was in My Beautiful Laundrette.
Yeah, Laundrette. Yeah.
Yeah. I've got it to 9. Yeah, he wasn't in that. Anyway, brilliant actor, Daniel Day-Lewis. Shaun, I'm glad that I'm actually really surprised that out of the 3 of us, until this moment, none of us had seen There Will Be Blood. I still haven't seen it. I haven't seen it because everybody talks about it's one of those American dream movies. It's about, okay, this is the American dream. This is how we're going to go, and this is how we're going to get it. And about the fact that the men who made the American dream were not necessarily the nicest people.
No. I've just thought of another performance. Bill the Butcher.
I said Gangs of New York.
Oh, did you? Sorry, yeah.
Well done. Yeah, and that's another one of the men who built America, not being very nice people.
Yeah, exactly.
And obviously this was Paul Thomas Anderson who directed him, who also directed him in Phantom Thread. So yeah, that's a film that, it's funny. I've been prepared to accept that There Will Be Blood was a brilliant film without ever watching it.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's a brilliant film. Yeah, don't need to watch it. I know it's brilliant. So, but maybe I will follow your footsteps, Shaun, and go watch that.
Yeah, go watch Phantom Thread. Yeah, we'll watch that too.
There will be Phantom. There will be the Phantom Blood.
There will be Phantom Blood. Yeah.
There will be Phantom Blood. All right. Let's carry on now. As we said, this turned out to be an Oscar-y week anyway. We spoke about Daniel Day-Lewis for his second Oscar, and now we come on to the current ones. And the first of the films we're going to talk about this week that is up for an Oscar this weekend. I mean, by the time you listen to this, the Oscars probably would have happened and you would know who won it. but this is a little bit of a little engine that could movie because no one really heard about it. It's just sort of shown up out of nowhere, but it is actually nominated for best special effects. So Sharon, will you want to tell us a little bit about Love and Monsters, what's it about, and what you thought about it?
Yeah, Love and Monsters, it's a Netflix film that's just been quite a recent release. It's one of their banner films, so you can't really miss it when you log in. It's basically a set in the future after a double apocalypse. Ooh. The first apocalypse was an asteroid headed for Earth, where Earth got together with all its armies and all its nations. And they sent up all these humongous missiles to destroy the asteroid, which they did. But then the fallout from all these missiles and the little bits of asteroid that were contaminated by these missiles that fell to Earth basically caused all insect life to mutate and to become monsters. And so instead of being like this, the minuscule, harmless things, snails become the size of school buses or coaches, and moths become terrifying man-eaters. That become like Mothra, and grubs and worms become this sort of like a behemoth things from the Dune. They become monsters. And it's like ordinary insect life, but it is just transformed into something hideous. And the only way to defend themselves against this, and 95% of humanity has been decimated, and the remaining 5% are basically taken to living in bunkers, either underground silos or in these enclaves where survivors sort of barricade themselves in.
Okay, just a quick aside. I don't know why it is, but I can handle the idea of most animals being big, like tiny animals being big rabbits. Night of the Lupus or whatever.
Night of the Lupus.
I can handle that.
Remember that.
But the idea of insects being huge and worms being huge, that makes my
Centipedes.
skin crawl. It makes my skin crawl. It's like, in the Peter Jackson King Kong,
Yeah.
where there's the bit where Andy Serkis gets attacked by all the...
yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so you have
sorry, Sharon. I just
all
had
of
to- I
insect
just-
life.
ah.
Yeah, so there's all sorts of horrible things.
If I
And-
faint while you're talking about this, you know why.
Yeah. So humanity have been taken into bunkers, and often people, they sort of fled there very quickly after this event started happening, when this insect life started growing and then turning on people and viewing people as like a good food source. People have just taken into these bunkers. So our main hero, his name is Joel. He's been in this bunker for 7 years. And on the day of the apocalypse, he got separated from his girlfriend. They're all like really sweet and spoony. And his parents got killed almost straight away. So he was taken up by this group of strangers and taken to the bunker. And he basically feels like an odd one out. And he's got a ham radio where they communicate with all the other bunkers around the place. And he decides that he's managed to track down his girlfriend from 7 years before. And he decides that it's time for him to actually go and find her. So he decides he's going to leave his bunker. He's going to cross whatever the world is outside, because he's never been outside the bunker in 7 years. But he is going to go and he's going to find his girlfriend, and he's going to do it for love.
Yeah.
And you see him then basically have a series of adventures as he sets off to find what he thinks he's been missing all these years. Because one of the things that he finds hard is that he is the only single person in his bunker. Everyone else is a couple or a family. And he's
Yeah, been there.
So he's like, no, I need to find my love. I need to find my partner. So he heads off across the wilderness, battling giant critters and the beasties along the way. And then he meets the odd group. He meets different people along the way as well.
All right, cool. So what did you think of this?
I really enjoyed it, actually. I thought it's a classic story of a coming of age story, how sort of a young man puts himself in peril to test himself, to find his inner strength, to find what his own value. So I thought, to me, it's like a bit classic storytelling, but it's set in this fantastical world. So I enjoyed it for its sort of the narrative of it. I enjoyed the performances, which I didn't recognise, apart from Michael Rooker, who turns up in one of his Michael Rooker type roles.
Yeah, I'm just gonna walk around and talk like this.
Yeah.
Kill people.
So he was very good. So I enjoyed it. Yeah, I enjoyed all the aspects of it that you'd expect that someone who likes The Walking Dead and who likes horror and who likes post-apocalyptic fiction in word, the written word and on the screen. Yes, it sort of ticked all the boxes for me. So I really enjoyed it. So I actually would give it a 4.
Are the creatures in it sort of well done? Are the creatures in it?
They
well
are
done?
actually, because there's one scene where I won't name all of the creatures, but there's one scene involving a millipede type creature.
Oh, millipedes.
And the way they move and the way they just.
Oh, God.
I mean, for me, it was lucky they didn't have, but it was just horrifying. But then there's bad insects, and there's almost like but one of the scenes is about how you can tell the difference between an insect that wants to kill you and one that really just wants to be left alone. And one of the ones that wants to be left alone, it was, if you can make anything that grotesque look quite sweet, it was managed to make an enormous, I won't say what it is because it's a bit of a giveaway, but one of them.
I'm going to watch this. Thanks, Sharon.
But there is, but they're quite, they gave them personality, and
cool.
they didn't look too weird and fake. They looked like proper insects, just the size of Vex's bus.
you see now everything you're saying, right? I like the storyline of this film. I like the and I think I actually quite like Dylan O'Brien, who plays the main character, because he was the lead in Maze Runner. And
that's why I saw him. I know him from. I sort of recognised him, and I was like, I sort of do, then I sort of don't.
Yeah, he was lead in Maze Runner, and he was also in a film I think it was called American Assassin. Shaun, I think you know that. And it's and so I quite like it, but I'm just thinking I don't think I can handle big insects. That I mean, there is you know the film The Mist, the Frank Darabont movie The Mist. Yeah. that film has like that sort of big insect thing as well, and oh my god, it freaks me out. It's like this.
Have
film,
Have you ever seen Tremors?
Yeah, I've seen Tremors. Or not, wait, I've seen Tremors 2. Because
right.
the I think because Tremors is the one where they have the worms, and Tremors 2, they're a bit different. They're almost kind of like, they have legs and they come off the ground and everything like that. Yeah, I've seen Tremors 2. But it's I mean, The Mist is the kind of film that I think till today, when I think about it, I'm probably gonna have a nightmare tonight. I'm probably gonna have a dream with one of those massive insects in my room. I was quite
relieved because there's something in the natural world that I really don't like. But I won't want to give it away again because I don't want to give you spoilers for the film. But I was quite relieved that one of my particular phobias was not in this film. But had there been one in there, I would have been like, whoa, I'm going to have to sort of watch it like that. But no, I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. And it wasn't, it didn't fall down the trap of, falling down the easy route for all the solutions.
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed it.
Okay, it's funny how you were saying as somebody who likes horror, as somebody who likes, and I was like, and also somebody who's been holed up in the house for the last year.
Yeah.
It's quite a relatable film right now. It's like there's this worldwide thing that means that we all have to stay indoors, and also the storyline reminds me of there's a graphic novel series that I've watched called called Why the Last Man, in which something mysterious happens, and essentially everything with the Y chromosome in the world dies. Apart from this one guy called Yorick and his pet monkey Ampersand, who's a male. So it's essentially, and it starts off, and he has this whole thing where he's in America, his girlfriend is in Australia, and he's trying to get all the way to Australia to meet her because he's like, oh my god, I've got to find my girlfriend. But then again, obviously, he's the last man alive, and then there becomes this whole political thing about him where some people want to be like, we've got to preserve him and find out exactly why he's still alive, and we've got to continue the species. And some people are like, no, this is women's time. Let's kill him, and then there'll only be women around. And it's been turned into a TV show. But I mean, when you said that about Love and Monsters, it made me. It's like, oh, this sounds like Why the Last Man. So Why the Last Man, Shaun, I think you would love it as a comic. It's a comic book.
Is it? Right. Okay. Yeah.
If you could find it, go Why the Last Man. All right, cool. And so let's be rude. So seeing as this is the only one we've seen, we shall be rooting for Love and Monsters to win that Best Special Effects Oscars this summer. Yeah, go, massive bus slice snail. Go, centipede. Yay.
Yeah. Centipede too.
All right, cool. Go eat everybody else. Eat everybody else who's now that would be cool if they did in the Oscars. Imagine if they had like, they said, okay, I don't know whether Godzilla vs. Kong is up for special effects, but if there's Godzilla vs. Kong and giant centipede and they all had to fight it out to see who won the Oscar for the best special effects, that would be awesome. All right, cool. And now we come into the final film this week, which is up for, now this is a film that is up for the big ones. It's up for Best Picture at the Oscars. It's up for Best Director, marking I think something like only the 5th time in Oscar history that a woman has been nominated for Best Director. It is up for Best Actress for Carey Mulligan, and that film is Promising Young Woman. I will start the clock. And so Shaun wants to come in with you'll come in with the reaction of what you thought about this film.
Yeah, definitely.
And I will tell you what this film is all about. So the film kicks off in a club. And there's these 3 people who look like, they work for an investment bank or something, or they work in cities, they're wearing suits, they've come after, and they're talking about something that happened at work. And they're talking about, essentially, they're abusing a woman who is essentially saying that, look, the culture of this place is misogynistic. And they're like, what the hell is she talking about? Blah, 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 blah. She's this, she's that. They call her the B word. And they notice that there's a woman in the corner who looks like she's just flat out drunk and she can't move or anything like that. And 2 of them are like, oh, you know what? This is our chance. She's drunk. Let's make our move. And one of them is like, no. Look, no, you guys don't do that. I'm going to go off there. And he seems to be a nice guy. So he goes and he takes the woman, he takes her home. He's like, oh, where do you live? Puts her in a cab and he's going to a house. Then halfway through, he kind of stops and he goes, so, I don't live that far from here. You want to come over to my place? and she's like really really drunk, so she can't say anything. She can't say yes or no. She's so incoherent. So he takes her to his place, makes her a drink, gives her even more drink, and then starts trying to make a move on her, saying, "Oh, don't worry. Oh no, you like this. Oh no, you're fine." And he's essentially starts trying to have sex with her. And as he's going along with this, she goes, "No, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing?" And then all of a sudden he realizes, oh my God, she isn't drunk. She isn't drunk. And then you find out that Carey Mulligan plays a character called Cassie, who does this as a regular thing. She goes to clubs every Friday night. She acts like she's flat out drunk and too drunk to walk. And invariably some guy comes over, picks her up, and tries acting like, I'm the good guy, I'm trying to look after you, everything like that, but then takes her home and tries to have sex with and this is something that she does to lure these people in. And as the film goes on, you find out that something happened, because it's called Promising Young Woman for a couple of reasons, but one of them is that she was in medical school. She was in medical school beforehand. She dropped out at the age of 22 because at the time you meet her, she's 30. She dropped out at the age of 22 for something that happened to a friend of hers. And that has just sort of like held in Arrested Development, that she hasn't gone back. She was the top of her class. She hasn't gone back. She hasn't gone back to it because this thing that happened has held in. And the whole film is essentially how she deals with it, what she's trying to do, how she's trying to reckon with this thing that has to do with violence towards women. As the film, that's the real bad guy of the film is people's attitudes towards women and violence to them and sexual violence towards them, and whether people actually believe women when they come forward and they say, this happened to me. So that being said, Shaun, what did you think of this film?
Okay, yeah, this film was, I mean, I really liked this film. There was the one thing, you're more techie than I am, so the bit towards the end, shall we say, the climax stuff, that's possible to happen, is it?
It is possible to do that, yeah.
So you can possibly do that.
Yeah, with a phone you can do that.
Yeah. Right, okay. Oh yeah, so that's that was no, I mean, I really liked it. Carey Mulligan, yeah, she played a really, really good part. Not so sure of shall we say the bed scene where, well, I can't really but yeah, I was thinking, oh right, okay, towards the end, I didn't know if that was up until that point. That sort of, I was like, well, I don't know. So, but then I thought about it and I thought, well, okay.
Let's put it. There's a scene towards the end of this film that I think will stay with you. I think it's a film towards the end of the film that will stay with you and will stay and I think that's what they wanted to do with this film. They wanted to make you think. Not really. I feel like they didn't particularly want to necessarily tell, like, because it's set up like a thriller. The film is set up like a revenge thriller, but they keep doing these things in it that where there's a bit in the middle of the film where it's like it's going to be a revenge thriller, then it veers off and looks like it becomes a romantic comedy.
Rom-com, yeah,
like it becomes a romantic comedy, soundtracked by Paris Hilton, and I think the film, what it wants to do is like, even the sort of revenge she's taking on people, it's not a kind of like I spit on your grave. It's not like a sort of a spit in your grave slasher revenge. It's almost as if the revenge she's taking is designed to make the viewer think, oh crap, oh, that's what it's like. That's what it's like to be accused of this. That's what it's like to be assaulted in that way. That's what, and the way
I think it was quite poignant was the Dean scene where she goes to see the Dean.
Where she goes to see the Dean.
And it's like, oh yeah, so that one, I mean, I like that scene as well. You sort of knew what's coming. So,
well, the thing is, I in that scene, I did not really know what was coming.
No.
I did not really know what was coming. And I think one of the good things about the film is up until the final bit, I'm not entirely sure what was going to happen. Like the climax of where she's going, or the climax of where this thing is taking her, this desire to sort of almost avenge her friend, the climax of where it's taking her. You're kind of, there's bits where you're like, okay, it's going to go this way. Oh no, it can't be going that way. There's a scene that Shaun was alluding to there, which we can't talk about in detail, but it's like where you're kind of going, and the scene's going, I'm going, okay, it's going to go this way. Oh no, it's going to go that way. Oh no, that's going to happen. No, that's going to. And the way it actually finishes, and you're like, wait, what the? And there's this one shot where it switches, and you're like, oh crap, that actually did happen. and it is, so I think it's Yeah, I've been struggling with this film since I saw it. I've been struggling because it's kind of like one of these films where, and we've had a couple of them recently where they raise issues that I think are really, really important. Like Saint Francis did it, Moxie did it, but some of them somehow forgot to tell a good story while they were doing that. And with this film, there's a bit where I think that Emerald Fennell, who wrote it and directed it, I feel as if there's bits where she is not so interested. It's like if there's a point where she's trying to make you think about something as opposed to be somewhere where she can do something for filmic reasons, she'll do something to make you think. Yeah, and so I'm trying to figure out, does that make it a good film? Does that make it a good film, or does it make it just kind of like an issues thing, or what is it like? But I agree with you. The performances are great. The series of men that pick her up and try and have sex with her are played by really good actors, like really well known, recognizable. Like pretty much everybody in this film, you will look at and you'll be like, oh wow, yeah, I know that person, and they show up for like 5 minutes, do something, disappear. It's like, oh, I know, that's somebody else. I know. And I think almost as if the fact that they show up, they're lending the idea that, look, this is a nice guy. Everybody knows this person is a nice guy actor, that this is the kind of guy that, you find. This is the kind of guy who preys on women, who looks nice, but you really don't know what they do once the door closes and no one can catch them. So I quite like the film. I don't know about Best Picture, but then again, I haven't seen any of the other films. And it's a good performance, but I don't know about Best Actress, but I haven't seen any of the other performances. And Best Director, I mean, Emerald Fennell, her first film, it'll be quite a turn up for the books. But I don't know, Shaun, what do you reckon? How many stars?
I'm exactly the same with you on this, Toes. I was sort of, I was trying to think, is it exactly the same? You sort of said my feelings as well. Is it I don't know, I'm struggling a little bit, but I think for me personally, it's probably, I know we have varying degrees. I would say it's a really strong 3-star for me. Really strong 3-star, I think. Yeah. But I don't know about touching the 4. I don't know. I had a couple of issues with one particular bit. So
yeah, there are bits of the film that I have issues with where and this is what makes me wonder. It makes me wonder. Like, I remember when I watched Get Out, and I remember watching Get Out and watching it on the Isle of Wight. So the Isle of Wight is a place that has a pretty much majority white population. So I was the only black person in the cinema. And every time and I know I've said this a couple of times over the last couple of years, because every time because there has thankfully been a whole raft of films that have been made by people who are not your straight white man, so to say. And every time this comes, I have to bring this analogy that I remember watching Get Out, and when I was watching it, being aware that I was watching a totally different film to everybody else in the cinema because I was the only black person there. I was watching the film and I was going, oh, good Lord. Oh, good Lord. That's what that means. Oh, some people are just watching and going, oh yeah, that's a thriller. Oh yeah, no, that's a bit far-fetched. And I'm and I'm connecting with this on a totally different level. So this is a film that I am very, very happy to admit that if a woman is watching it, she could be seeing something totally different to what I'm seeing. Yeah. And things could be hitting totally in a different way. And because I'm with you, Shaun, I think high 3, not quite a 4. But I feel like almost the language of film is changing, because there's all these people who were not really allowed to make films before who are now making films, and they're bringing something in. So the things that we think, oh, this is what it means to make a good film, might be changing. And if that does change, then there's going to be films where I'm going to be like, I'm not entirely sure what they're going for there. But because I've seen people raving about this film and giving it 5 stars and all that kind of stuff.
Right, yeah.
And I was like, I don't think it's a 5-star film. But I'm aware that this might be hitting in an emotional place that I just do not have access to. Yeah. But Shaun, what do you reckon? What do you reckon about Best Picture?
Well, we haven't really seen much else, have we? Really? But
if you're going to compare it to your usual Best Picture fare.
No, from a personal point of view, and I don't mean this in a horrible way, but probably not Best Picture. For me, it wouldn't make it. How about you?
I would agree with you on that. I think we're going to agree a lot, but we're aware that this is a podcast with 2 men and 1 woman, and the woman hasn't seen the film.
I haven't seen it.
Because I would look at it, I would say best picture. Not really. Best director, I would be surprised. Maybe best screenplay. Maybe best maybe best original screenplay.
Yeah.
Best actress for Carey Mulligan. I mean, she is really good, but everything I've heard says that this is Frances McDormand who's going to win this again.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
She's becoming like the female Daniel Day-Lewis.
Yeah. That's for sure. But I mean, I'd really like to see Nomadland. I really want to watch that one.
Well, the 30th of April, all of your things can be fulfilled.
Oh, cool.
All of your things can be fulfilled. All right, that is it for this week. And we will come back next week where we will have some Oscars reaction, I'm guessing, to see who actually won. And also, The Falcon and Winter Soldier shall have finished. The second Marvel Disney Plus thing, which, Shaun, I'm guessing that you haven't continued watching yet.
I haven't yet. No, I haven't continued watching that. I've watched the first one, but
it's interesting.
Right. Okay.
It's interesting in a totally different way from WandaVision, and it is creating a lot of chatter online in a totally different way than WandaVision.
All right. Okay. Cool.
Cool. Yeah. Essentially,
I've got the second season of Pennyworth to watch as well sometime.
Yeah. But I'll tell you what. I'll tell you one thing about Falcon and the Winter Soldier. This is essentially this show. It treats the 5 years in Avengers, between Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame, when half the world had disappeared before they all got brought back at the end of Endgame. And if you haven't seen these films, sorry for the spoiler, but what have you been doing with your life? It treats that almost like the Marvel's version of the pandemic. So there's bits where it's kind of like, now we have the pandemic and it's disrupting the way life is being lived and everything like that. And there's some people who prefer life during the pandemic than it was beforehand. And there's people who are like, oh, this thing that happened that we have during the pandemic, we should keep this instead of going back to normal and just getting rid of it. And there's a lot of sort of like socio-economic, political stuff that's going on with Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which makes it a totally different beast. And I'm like, wow, this is... Once again, I'm just impressed with Marvel. Sorry to sound like a broken record, but it is true. They are good. They are awesome. So until next week, when we talk Oscars and Falcon and the Winter Soldier, it's a goodbye from me.
It's a goodbye from me.
And it's a goodbye from me.
Yeah. Thank you very much for joining us. And one final thing. Any of you guys going to watch the Oscars?
No.
I don't know. I don't know.
Claude, it's not going to be as long as Justice League.
No.
It will be shorter than Justice League, and it will be on Sky Cinema, your home right now. All right. See you guys next week.